I thank you, Deputy Speaker. Well, Deputy Speaker, we are currently being hit with the biggest skills shortage in a decade, and this government is cutting training for workers. Those opposite, as we've just heard, have a little bit of a memory problem. They remember everything that happened 6 years ago and nothing that has happened since. So let's have a look at that 6 years of this government, a government going into its 7th year. There are cuts of over $3 billion to skills apprentices, vocational education and training, a loss of over 150,000 apprentices across the country, plummeting TAFE enrolments, TAFE courses cut, TAFE fees skyrocketing, and teachers sacked and campuses closed. And we only have to go back as far as 2014, when, in that first budget under this Liberal government, they slashed $1 billion and demolished the Tools for Your Trade program. Deputy Speaker, they also slashed a further $1 billion investment in skills by cutting funding and axing other programs, including the National Workforce Development Fund, the Workplace English Language and Literacy Program, the Australian Apprenticeships Access Program, the Accelerated Australian Apprenticeships Program, the Australian Apprenticeships Mentoring Program, the Apprenticeship to Business Owner Program. All slashed. The government announced a much smaller program, the Industry Skills Fund, in that 2014 budget, which was $27 million in its first year, $49 million in the second year, before dwindling down to a paltry $1.9 million in the 2018-19 budget. This is not a government with a commitment to skills and training. In 2014, in November, they took the axe to $12.5 million joint group training program by 20% and axed the program completely in 2015 and 16. Then in December, now remember we're just in 2014 here, in December they cut $66 million to direct adult apprenticeship assistance payment under the Adult Australian Apprentices program. And now we're faced with a skills shortage. Before their second budget, in anticipation of the Abbott government's contempt for skills and training, the peak bodies made a lot of statements. They raised concerns before the 2015 budget, but the axe came out again, including $1.6 million cut and abolishing the industry skills councils. Now we have a skills shortage. Well, the industry skills councils might have given us some forewarning about what was coming if they still existed. Later that year, in December's MyEFO, they cut $273 million over 4 years from the Industry Skills Fund and $122 million from the Skills for Education Employment program. Deputy Speaker, it goes on and on. 6 years of cuts, and now we find ourselves in this position. And what is this government offering? What is their answer to a skills shortage that we haven't seen the likes of for a decade, to the loss of 150,000 apprentices? Well, they want to have a cultural debate. They want us to focus on the fact that TAFE might be being seen as the poor cousin to universities. 6 years under this government. 6 years under this government. And now they want to have a cultural debate instead of putting money into the public TAFE sector and building back our capacity to train to meet the skills shortage. It's a really simple proposal. What is taking here, what we need here from this government is a commitment to public TAFE. That is where the answer lies. We on this side and those on that side know this. We all know this. And there's a fascinating article today in the Canberra Times written by Joanne McCarthy. The headline is, "My family are all tradies. I know TAFE isn't what it used to be, and I know why." Now, I'm not going to shy away from the fact that the registered training organisations in the private sector did the wrong thing in this country. But to quote Joanne, "The cultural bias towards university or against TAFE didn't exist in my neck of the woods before vocational training was disrespected and plundered internally and externally over a long period. The TAFE College in Gosford, where I grew up, was on the hill as prominent and respected local institution." This government needs to get back to basics and realise that it's a public TAFE sector that has the answers that they are seeking. All they need to do is make decisions about funding that sector and allow this country to rebuild that sector.